Hi guys, Bobby Gass here. I watched Final Richie. He did a video a couple of days ago about what was the music that you listened to. What were you listening to when you turned 13 years old? When you were 13 years old, what were you listening to? Now, I'm older than a lot of you guys, right? So your 13-year-old stuff will be post like the 60s, 67, something like that. Some of you older guys, you turned 13 from 67 to, in the 70s sometimes. So I come from a different generation, different music. And this is why I'm doing this thread, I guess you call it. I don't know who the original guy was. If you want to know who that is, just go to Vinyl Richie's channel because he mentioned the guy and left an URL to his video. I'm not going to do that. Anyhow, the first song that I'm going to pick, I turned 13 in 1962. 1962 still had an awful lot of that commercial, homogenized white boy rock with all the Johnnies and Frankies and Bobbies and all of that kind of crap. But there was still some great music going on before the British invasion happened, eh? I mean, music changed in '64, no question about it. Some of that stuff still hung on, and even some of that R&B until the late '60s, eh? But music had changed, eh? Anyhow, first song on the list for 1962 for me is Chubby Checkers, The Twist. Now, you guys all think the Beatles ruled the world, and they did, and all of that. But the Twist was bigger than the Beatles. I mean, when the Beatles come out, it was 12, 13, 14-year-old girls that was in love with them. When the Twist come out, the Chubby Checker Twist we're talking about. Hank Ballard did it first. He recorded it in '58. And his single come out in '59. The Twist actually was the Twist, Chubby Checker's original Twist, come out in 1960, and it was a number one hit for a week or two, right? But then they re-released it in '62, and it was a number one again for a couple of weeks, right? And I can't think of any other record that ever did that was, in the top 10, the same record, eh? Now, Billboard calls it the best-selling single of all time until it was surpassed by some chick song in 2021. In 2021, that wouldn't have been vinyl. That would have been digital stuff. Eh? So that don't count as far as I'm concerned. It's not a record. It's a tune. And it's actually Hank Ballard with the Midnighters. He did it first, and for 20 years, he was really upset that he never made any money off of Chubby Checker's tune, right? Chubby Checker made a fortune, and that's all he ever did was, twist it all the time. And there was some good twist songs too, eh? Peppermint Twist by Joey D and the Starlighters, another great one, eh? So I'm going to play Chubby Checker's Twist for you right here now, guys. Yeah, the twist. Grandmothers, kids, everybody was twisting, and I mean everybody. Actually, Hank Ballard wrote the song. He's seen some kids. He says he's seen some kids in Florida doing the twist, and so he wrote the song. But some other guy says that he stole the song. Somebody else wrote it. You know what that's like, eh? In them days, everybody was stealing from each other, right? The next tune up here I got for you is another twist tune. Is the Isley Brothers, Twist and Shout. Great tune. 1962.
Shake it
Yeah, we were dancing fools back in the early '60s. There was all kinds of dances, and you had to know quite a few of them to be cool because the particular songs you danced a particular style. I mean, there was the frug, the swim, the mashed potato. There was all kinds of them. The horse. There was all kinds of them, right? Until free dancing come along, you had to know a dance move. I started out with the continental in the late '50s, which developed into the mashed potatoes later on, and that's what I'm going to play for you now. Dee Dee Sharp's Mashed Potatoes, 1962. We had some slow tunes we could dance to, too, eh? In them days, we went to a lot of dances, us kids in the early '60s. We didn't stand around listening to the music, holding up phones, taking pictures of the band or whatever, right? We danced. We socialized with each other, right? Uh, this next band is Pair Brothers, the Everly Brothers. They were my favorite band along with Dion until 1964 when I heard Not Fade Away by the Stones. In '62, they had a great tune. They had a lot of great tunes, right? And the tune I'm going to play for you now by the boys was Crying in the Rain, 1962. I'll do my crying in the If I wait for cloudy skies, you won't know the rain from the tears in my eyes. You'll never know that I still love you so, though the heartaches remain. I'll do my crying in the rain. Raindrops falling from heaven could never wash away my misery. But since we're not together, I look for stormy weather to hide these tears I hope you'll never see. Now there were tunes, great tunes, that our radio stations in Toronto wouldn't play. So us kids would have to listen to stations from the States, and that'd be Buffalo, Rochester. They used to have a rock station in Buffalo and R&B and soul station, Wuffo and Buffalo. And us kids, we used to listen to them all the time. And how we learned about it was, in high school, '62, you talk to each other, oh yeah, I ought to check this station out or check this DJ out. DJs were a big deal in them days. Anyhow, this is a tune by Don Gardner, I Need Your Love, and this is fantastic. I had to listen to this one from the States. Whoa, 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 whoa. I need your love every day. Every hour. I need your love. Come on home. Set my soul on fire. I need your love whoa, 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 yeah. Whoa, 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 right now. I say you need love. Next up here was a monster, another monster in 1962, at least with my crowd anyhow, all the dances we went to, all the record collections everybody had. In them days was 45s or 78s. The albums your parents had. And the tune is by Gene Chandler. Actually, the first 45 I ever bought was a Gene Chandler tune. Anyhow, this is The Duke of Earl, a monster tune by Gene Chandler.
Let me ask you a question. Where were you in 1962? What memory does it bring back when the Duke of Earl comes by Gene Chandler?
As I walk through this world, nothing can stop the Duke of Earl. And you are my girl, and no one can hurt you. Oh no, yes I. Oh, I'm gonna love you. Oh, oh, come on, let me hold you, darling, 'cause I'm the Duke of Earl. Yeah.
There's no way I can't talk about the early 60s and not mention this guy, James Brown. I mean, I was a huge fan of him. In Toronto, it was who was the number one guy was between in 62 was between Jackie Wilson and James Brown. We were a big R&B soul town in the early 60s and late 50s, along with the rock and roll, eh? But everything changed in 64 when the Beatles come, the British invasion, the rest of them British bands. It's just the R&B started to get pretty shitty to my mind, right? And same with the soul music, right? Actually, this guy here, James Brown, late 60s, I wasn't liking his music anymore. I liked all his early stuff. I got most of his early stuff, right? I've told the story about me going to a show of his in 66 down at Maple Leaf Gardens and jumping on stage and dancing with him and then meeting him later, walking and talking with him or my arm around him and sitting in his limo. And I told the story. The guy wants me to write the story and give it to him for that magazine, Record Hound or some magazine, I don't know. One guy did he was going to make a comic book of the story. He had the story all printed up and lettered up and stuff like that. Was sitting in a print shop in Ohio where he was, and when we had all them tornadoes about 2 or 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I forget now, a tornado come and took the print shop away, got rid of the building, all the stuff that was inside. And he got so disgusted with it all, he stopped drawing and all of that, right? And that was the VC's first comic book, right? Anyhow, here you go. Here's James Brown right here. Now this next guy, this was another huge number, eh? I put this guy's song up, 10 years ago or better and got a strike. And then I put it up another 5 or 6 years later and got another strike, right? So I don't know if this song's going to go through or not. If it doesn't go through, I'll just tell you who it is and you won't hear no music from it, right? It's Hey Baby by Bruce Chanel. That was a really, really big tune in 62.
Girl, That's the kind of gal I like to meet. She's so pretty, Lord, she's fine. I'm gonna make her mine, all mine. Hey, baby.
Now, for number 9, back in the early 60s, you know, the homogenized Bobbies, Frankies, and Johnnies, all of that commercial rock and roll crap was getting pretty old. And the best bands, you know, were the girl groups. The Shirelles, the Chiffons, Martha and the Vandellas, you know, the whole bunch of them, right? And I seen all 3 of them bands, by the way, I mentioned. And the next two of them up here, your number 9 tune, is the Shirelles' Baby It's You.
It's not the way you smile that touch my heart. It's not the way you kiss that tears me apart. Oh, many nights roll by. I sit alone at home and cry over you. What can I do? I can't help myself. 'Cause baby, it's you. Baby, it's you.
Now, last but not least is a girl that I listened to in the 50s, the late 50s, all through the early 60s, till she died in a plane crash. Now, we were heavy into rock and roll in the late 60s and early 70s, and had a lot of buddies, you know, and I had a hippie pad. You'd be up 3-4 days doing drugs and partying and shit like that, and we'd crash. And me and my brother both would put this record on to crash to. And at first, and we would take it up north too, for fishing. Well, when you want to crash, you're drinking and all of that, a bunch of guys and shit like that. And the guys originally was, oh, what the hell is that? What do you got that for? But soon as they hear it, when they're trying to crash, it's beautiful. Oh, I love it. And that's Patsy Cline. Patsy Cline. Play one for you here. Patsy Cline, She's Got You.
I've got your picture that you gave to me, and it's signed with love, just like it used to be. The only thing different, the only thing new, I've got your picture, she's got you. I've got the records that we used to share, and they still sound the same as when you were here. The only thing different, the only thing new, I've got the records, she's got you.
Well, that's it. That's 1962 for me. That wasn't, all your commercial top tens and all of that kind of stuff, because, I didn't listen, you heard it all the time, right? But if you flip the radio dial around and stuff like that, you could kind of get what you like and stuff like that. And you'd go over to buddies' places. I had a buddy, his older brother had all of that music, right? He had 78s too, right? James Brown 78s, Elvis Presley 78s, R&B and soul 78s, rock and roll 78s, and when the 45s come around, he was buying them too, right? Anyhow, that's 1962, guys. We had some great music.